you are somebody who's always in the yes mode. Okay, I will do this. Yes, it's okay. Yes, okay, done. Yup, right, okay. You are saying yes all the time only because you are scared of hurting people. You are scared of, sounding selfish. You are not setting boundaries only because you do not want to upset relationships. And so, what happens is that because you are this yes minister all the time, you actually end up draining yourself. Now, here's the truth: setting boundaries is okay because boundaries are not walls, they are actually bridges to healthier relationships and a more fulfilled you. What if I told you that you can actually protect your energy and prioritize your well being and still maintain all those meaningful connections without any guilt? Hi, and welcome to another empowering episode of the Flight to Fulfillment podcast. Today, I'm your host, Ratika Seth, your life enhancement coach, and today we are talking about a life changing topic: setting boundaries with love, protecting your energy without guilt. Setting boundaries is not about being selfish. Setting boundaries is not about pushing people away. In fact, setting boundaries is about honoring yourself, your needs, and maintaining respect and compassion for others. Boundaries are essential for protecting your energy. Boundaries are essential for you to reduce your stress levels. Boundaries are essential for you to live a more balanced life. So, in this episode, I will guide you through 5 powerful steps, to set boundaries with love so that you can prioritize yourself without feeling guilty and without hurting anyone. Not yourself, not any of your relationships. So, if you have been struggling with saying no, if you have been struggling with managing your time, if you have been feeling overwhelmed, doing everything for everybody all the time, this episode is just for you. So, let's dive straight in. 5 steps to setting boundaries with love. Number 1. Understand the purpose of boundaries. Understand why you are setting these boundaries. You have to understand why they are essential. Because boundaries are not about shutting people up. Boundaries are not about pushing people away. Boundaries are about creating healthy limits to protect your energy and your well being. Boundaries actually help you show up, as your best self because you're not pretending. Both for you and the people you care about, maintaining this boundary will actually help you strengthen your relationship. So reflect on areas of your life where you feel totally overwhelmed or drained out. Ask yourself, what boundaries can I set that will help me feel more balanced? The minute you are more balanced, the minute you have set boundaries, you are actually giving more to a relationship than what you would if you were not maintaining those boundaries, because now you will be all energetic, you will never be drained out. So you're actually giving the best to a relationship by creating a boundary. Number 2, identify all your non-negotiables, because all boundaries are not the same. Some are really non-negotiable. Sometimes you can be flexible, right? Some boundaries are flexible. Okay, you are not going to do this. Okay, but for once in a while, it's okay. You'll do it. But some boundaries are so non-negotiable. Something like if it's coming between you and your self-care, or something which is coming between you and your self-respect. Those boundaries are non-negotiables. Knowing what are your non-negotiables actually helps you communicate your boundaries with clarity and confidence to others. So write down your top 3 non-negotiables today in a relationship or for yourself and why they are important to you. And once you do that, you will be able to actually set the right boundaries. Number 3, start communicating with clarity and with compassion, because setting boundaries does not mean that you are being harsh. It does not mean that you are being rude. It does not mean that you are being, a fighter cock. You're being confrontational. No. How to use I in statements to express what you actually want and what you actually need, and to use this I kindly is the trick. So I'll give you an example over here. I need time to recharge, so I will not be able to attend this event. Now, something like this will work because it's compassionate communication. You are honestly saying that you need time for yourself to recharge, and that is why you're not able to do something. You are not saying, I don't want to do this. So the minute go on, the mode of saying, I don't want to do this, somebody else in the relationship may feel a little weird, right? But here you are giving a nice explanation. I am not being able to do this because I need time for this. So it will work. Compassionate communication always works. So practice expressing, one boundary in a calm and a kind way. Not to sound rude, not to sound stubborn, not to sound obstinate. Number 4, let go of your guilt. If you have to say no, you have to say no. You do not have to feel guilty about setting boundaries. And guilt often comes from fearing that we are letting somebody down. Every time you start feeling guilty in a relationship for not, doing something what the other person wanted you to do, but you do not want to do, you are actually, feeling guilty because you feel, oh my God, what is the other person thinking about me now, or the relationship now? So it's coming from, a fear of letting somebody down. And you start feeling, oh my God, I'm so selfish. So you need to reframe this. Start reminding yourself that you're doing this for yourself. It's an act of self-respect. Saying no is not being selfish. Saying no is respecting yourself. And it's only when you take care of yourself that you can actually take care of others better. Write a reminder to yourself. Keep telling yourself that setting this boundary will help me protect my energy and I will show up as my best self. Number 5, enforce your boundaries consistently. See, consistency is the key for anything that you do. Any action taken, consistency is the key. It can be any subject. It can be your personal life, your professional life, your financial life, your materialistic life, your spiritual life. It can be anything. Consistency is always the key. Setting boundaries is one thing, but sticking to them is another. It's like the resolutions we make, no, for the new year. Half of us don't stick to those resolutions. So don't just set boundaries, please stick to them as well. When you don't enforce your boundaries, others will not take you seriously. Others will just say that, oh, she's saying this, but okay, she will, I'll manipulate her. I'll make her change her mind. She's saying this right now, but eventually she'll give in. So that is how others will start feeling if you do not take your boundaries seriously yourself. So stay firm, but stay kind. If someone crosses a boundary, gently remind them of your limits. Practice saying no in a respectful way, but a firm way. So, for example, I appreciate your understanding, but I cannot commit to this right now. It's, you're saying no in a very polite manner. And this works personally as well as professionally, isn't it? So many times, even in our work life, we need to say no. We need to say no to a client. We also need to say no to a business coming in so many times because it does not, it does not align with the values that we have or our work ethics. So saying no is not about being rude. Saying no is not about snubbing the other person. Saying no is not about showing disrespect to the other person. Saying no is about being kind yet being firm and sticking to your ground because that aligns with what you believe in. So thank you for joining me on this episode of Flight to Fulfillment. Remember that setting boundaries with love, whatever you do, do it with love. Setting boundaries with love is not about shutting people out. It's about creating space to protect yourself. So let's recap the 5 steps once again. Number 1, understand the purpose of the boundaries while you set them. Number 2, identify your non-negotiables. Number 3, communicate with compassion, with kindness, with clarity. Number 4, let go of the guilt. And number 5, enforce your boundaries consistently, remain consistent, and respect your boundaries. Respect yourself for creating those boundaries. Boundaries are a form of self-love. It's a gift you can give to yourself as well as to others in your life. So when you honor your own needs, you show up more authentically, and you come closer to others when you're your best self, your most authentic self. So if this episode resonated with you, please subscribe, leave a review, share it with someone who could benefit from learning how to set boundaries. Till my next podcast, this is me, Ratika Seth, reminding you that protecting your energy is not only your right, it is your responsibility. You owe this to yourself. So until next time, stay kind, stay compassionate, keep following me on my Instagram handle @gratitudeconcepts by Ratika Seth for your daily dose of inspiration, and I'll catch you in my next podcast. Bye-bye.